Hello, and hello to each and every one of you. Welcome to another episode, actually, episode 11 of season 4 of the A Woman's Soul Restored podcast. This week's topic is one that's really near and dear to me because it's something I'm going through right now as of the past week and 2 days. And I was going to do something else, but I'll save that one for next week and go ahead today. And we're going to talk about carrying on when we don't feel like carrying on. Going forward or moving forward when the last thing you want to do is move forward. Now, we talked about 2 weeks ago, I believe, we talked about being sick and tired. And this is kind of correlated to it, but not the same thing. This is where you feel like you want to go on, but physically, emotionally, you can't go on. And you don't know what's going to take that push for you to move forward. So I'm going to go into why I'm going through that right now and why currently my hair looks like it does. Last Wednesday night, I had something good happen to me last Wednesday morning. And I was in a happy mood. I was praising God and thanking Him for the deliverance of what He had done for me. I was playing worship music in the house up until it was time for me to lay down. I usually take a nap before I go to work at night. So Wednesday night, I slept from about 6:30 to about 9:30. I laid down to about 9:45. I got up, got myself ready, was still happy, still the overflowing of happiness from what I had been healed from. And I went to work, was having a great night, was pain-free, was moving fast and helping others in the midst of moving fast and just really loving what I was doing. I was working and being able to work pain free was truly a blessing. So guess who got mad at me? The enemy. Now I'm not gonna say he pushed me, but he used the situation to cause me to hurt myself seriously. I was pulling, as I said about 2 episodes ago, I work at a shipping warehouse and overnight. It's part time, but it's very physical work. And I was pulling boxes off of the conveyor belt to put it onto the belt that goes into the truck. And the belt got backed up because I was really moving. I was really pulling boxes off, pulling them off fast. And I ran out of room. So I was putting them on the floor, and we all do it. Throughout the night, you see boxes on the floor, and when we get caught up or when the belt goes down some, we pick them up, put them back on. Well, I misjudged how close the box that I put on the floor was to my feet. And as I was still trying to work fast, I tripped. I fell backwards, and my head hit the back of the belt right back here, and it's a little swollen. That's why I got to be careful with the hair, because I had the style I had in that, if y'all watched last week, I had a cute little style in, and that actually saved my head because it had a extra cushion back there how I had cut it. But it still hurt because it's a steel plate that I hit. My husband said my head was hard, so I could make a little light of it now, but still, it has been a trying week because this happened last Wednesday, and I had to leave work because not only was my head hurt, but I felt awkward. So my arm had started to swell. Let me see, got a bruise right here on my elbow where I just took a tumble, a hard tumble. And at my age, and I think that's what's going on, it's taking longer for me to recover. So I did not go to work Thursday because I worked Sunday through Thursday. So I didn't go last Thursday. I went to the doctor. They put me on restrictions, so I couldn't do any lifting. They had me scanning because I went back to work that Sunday night and I was just scanning packages. And my head just was hurting so bad. I worked that shift. It was only 5 hours. So I worked, I think we got out of there around 4:30. So that was right at 5 hours. But Monday night when I went in, my head was already hurting the drive there. My head was, let's say it was consistently hurting throughout leading up into Monday. And when I got there Monday night, we was having our pre-meeting. Our regular lead was not there. So as I was sitting there, my head was just the noise from the belt, the noise from people talking. I couldn't take it. So I worked like it's a 30-minute drive from my home. So I drove 30 minutes only to stay there around 15, 20 minutes and then come back home. I could not take that noise. My brain felt like it was beating out my head. And that was the last time I was at work. I could not go back. But I've been telling people I have a very good job, compassionate, because they've been very understanding. So I had to go back to the doctor, winding the story up. Had to go back to the doctor yesterday, and what they're going to do is order a CT scan because back there is, and I hadn't felt back there. I know I had to get that extra hair out my head because it was irritating me, and I wanted it out. See, like it was doing more harm than good. So it was cute, but it had to come out. But they're ordering a round of tests to see, make sure it's nothing serious. And I honestly think that it's age related, where it's taking a little longer. And I'm praying that's all it is, that it's nothing serious. But I still want to make sure that it's not anything that if I don't take care of it, it's going to flare up later and be a detriment. So I'd rather do whatever I need to do now and get it out the way. But in the process of all of this going on, I didn't go to work because I couldn't, because it would have been dangerous for me to go and then something happens. I get lightheaded or something and cause more of a problem. So we're trying to take care of this problem. But in the midst of everything that was going on because my body feels fine now. Like the swelling's gone. I can lift my arms up over my head. Everything's good with my body. Just this headache. They did give me a shot yesterday, and that shot kind of knocked every other pain I had out, and it kind of minimized the headache too. It was there today a little, but it was more like a muted headache more than a constant. So I was able to enjoy today. I was out. It was a sunny day, a little chilly, but it was sunny. So I was out just being thankful to be alive and being able to see another day. Because that fall was serious and it scared me. And I'm a strong woman, but I cried because that pain was intense. And even now, I kind of sleep. Once I get in a position, I stay there. I'm not one that be all over the bed, but I sleep on my back and then I get on my stomach. And I haven't been able to sleep on my back because I can't sleep on my head. So I really hope that, and y'all be praying for me, that is something minor, that on the exterior, and nothing dealing with anything serious. But I got into that story to say that I still needed to do the things I needed to do to carry on. I didn't want to. I wanted to lay in bed and not get up. But I have responsibilities because I still did the podcast last Friday. And that was fresh after the incident. That was 2 days, 2 nights later. But I still did it. And things that I do throughout the week, I didn't want to. I didn't feel like it. But sometimes if it's not anything that's going to damage us, we got to go for the push. We got to not want to sit and not want to lay down and not want to do the podcast because my hair, every strand is not in place. I still wanted to do this episode because the message behind it is one that not only women can use, but men too, because our men are our leaders. And as women, we're their help. So we all need to keep moving forward. Sometimes we need to press forward. Sometimes we need to make ourselves press forward in order to do the things we need to do, even when we don't feel like it, even when we're the last thing we want to do is to press forward and keep going. And sometimes that's the thing we need to do. So if I'm progressing the way I'm progressing, I'm looking forward to going to work Sunday night, still on restriction. So I'll just be doing something like scanning the boxes, but just to be able to be functional in that space, in that area. But as far as everything else, I still had to do the things I need to do. I'm a grandmother. I pick my grandson, take him to work and oh Lord, he's 6, he can't go to work. But I take him to school and pick him back up. We're doing things to get the organization back going. So I've had to get on the computer, and light has been an issue for me. Sunlight has been, that's why I enjoyed today, because I was able to go in the sunlight and it not bother me and make my headache worse. Being in intense light, like I had the light on in here, I wouldn't have been able to do that because that any light was very making it worse. So today was truly a good day, and I thank God for his grace and blessing me to see this beautiful day that we had. If the sun wasn't shining, it probably would have been a cold day, but the sun was up and bright and beautiful, and it was a nice day, so I enjoyed it. But sometimes in the midst of us going through in our bodies, going through in the spaces that we're in, we could be going through in our marriages, we could be going through with family, um, our churches, our businesses. There are many, many things that I could name that some of you probably can relate to because you're probably going through it right now. That if you think about it, you're functioning, but you're probably wondering how you're functioning because you really don't feel like it, but you're doing it. And then some of you probably are not functioning. And those are the people I want to talk to this evening. The ones that are really, really struggling to move forward when you need to move forward. Struggling to put that next foot in front of the other when that's really what you need to do to get out and do the things you need to do. Get up out of that chair. Get up out of that bed. Get up from in front of that television and do what you need to do. Small steps to tackle one thing at a time. But once you get content being in the bed, once you get content sitting down, you're going to think of every program that you're going to stream programs, you're going to try to catch up on stuff, and you're going to catch yourself looking at TV all day or being online all day or just not being productive. But even if you're in a restraint, there's still things that you can do to be productive. If you are bedridden, it's things that you could do to be productive. Even if you get a book, some puzzle books, and keep your brain going while you're not able to move physically. We have to keep our parts moving, and our brain is a part. It's a very important part because it's the part of our motor function stem from the brain. So our brain sends signals to our body. And if our brain is not stimulated, then the signals get blocked. And then we're blocked because we're not defined in what we need to do. So it's important, either if we're active or not, to keep the brain stimulated. Keep your brain in a mode of knowing that it needs to be doing something, whether you're doing puzzles. I have a brother that loves to do, I think it's Sudoku. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not a puzzle person, but I'm a reader. I'll pick up a book and I'll get in. If it's a good book, I'll read it that day. And just, no matter how thick it is, I'm not going to put it down. And that's why I don't read if I got stuff to do that day, because I'll get caught up with a book. But it's games that you could do to keep your brain stimulated. It's important that we keep continuing to move forward, even when we don't feel like it, because your brain will get stagnant, and then we get stagnant, and then we freeze in place. We get content with being in front of the TV all day. We get content with not having any movement and not being social. That's another thing. We have to be involved with conversations with people. You don't have to be telling your business, but just talk about how the day's going. Talk about um something that you have interest in with somebody else. But we have to be social and communicative with people in order to stay stimulated. Unless you get used to being isolated, you get used to being in that house, used to being in that bed, used to not socializing with anybody. If your spouse comes home, you're timid with them because they were out that day. So we have to be mindful of us, and to take care of us, take care of this brain, make sure it's functioning correctly, make sure you're keeping it stimulated and not being isolated with yourself and with your subconscious, with your thoughts. Because when we're alone, that's when our thoughts come, and things that we haven't thought about in years, that's when they surface, when we have that time. And time is not our friend sometimes. Time can work against us, and it works against us when our memories are prevalent. The things we don't want to think about, those are the things that surface when our brain is stagnant. We'll go deep into that subconscious to pull something out that might not even need to be out, because it's going to put you in a bad headspace. But because we're not doing anything constructive and not doing anything to keep our brain vital, we go back, we pull from what we've known before. We pull from the memories. We pull from sources that's buried deep down in there. And the next thing you know, you mad over something that happened 15 years ago that you thought you was over. But because you're not stimulating yourself, your memories have come back to surface, and not in a good way. So it's important to keep in touch with people. Don't isolate yourself and become to a point where nobody's heard from you in a while, or you don't want to talk on the phone. You don't want to even text. You don't want to be social with anybody because you just want to be by yourself. Sometimes that's okay, but that's not okay for an extended period of time, just to be isolated and be by yourself, and it's just you and the TV, or you and your tablet, or you and your phone. That stuff gets addictive, believe it or not. You can get addicted to your phone. You can get addicted to social media. You can get addicted to a gamut of things if that's all you're focusing on. People focus on gambling and drugs and um, drinking alcohol, but you can be addicted to sex. You can be addicted to um, you could be addicted to watching TV. You could be addicted to just playing cards. Just you not gambling, but just you want to be at the card table. You find games to play because you want to be in that circle of people that's playing cards. You, for whatever reason. So there are many things that we can get addicted to. That's not things that we ingest in our system. It's things that we can do that causes us to. Some people get addicted to speeding. They have a heavy foot no matter whose car they're driving. They'll get a speeding ticket 2-3 times a year because they're addicted to that need to go fast. And that's not only with cars. Some people are just fast in their actions, and they're addicted to that. So it's not only things that we can take and put in our system. It's things that we can do on the exterior that we can be addicted to that's not good for us. And the longer we do it, it does become an addiction of being solitary, of being alone, of not having company, of avoiding people because for whatever reason, you just don't want to be around anybody. We have to snap ourselves out of that and not be comfortable with ourselves. Don't give yourself a reason to prolong being isolated. Don't give yourself a reason to prolong being sad or being depressed and I deserve to feel this way. No, you don't. You don't deserve to be depressed. You don't deserve to be hurting emotionally. You don't deserve to beat yourself up because the world is going to beat us up enough. So we don't need to beat ourselves up doubly after we've been tormented by what we hear in the news. And that's another thing. We can get so caught up with the news until we lose sight of life. We clicking on every stream to see what's happening. We following certain news programs to see what's happening, and we get so caught up with that stuff until we forget about life and we forget about others, and we just focus on what we're hearing, and our surroundings become mute because we're so focused on what's going on in the news and what Washington is doing. I'll put it like that. What's going on with that surrounding and what's going on in the local government and things we have no control over except to pray over. But things we have no control to do anything about. We'll let that thing get in our system. It'll get in our soul and begin to stir you up in a negative way emotionally, and you can't do anything about it except get more upset. So why even do it? Why even? Yeah, it's good to know what's going on. You can follow information, but don't let the information overtake you to the point to where life stops and it's all about what's going on with the things you're watching and what's going on with Washington and what's going on Capitol Hill and what's going on here. And you don't matter anymore. It's all about what's going on. So not going to be long this week. Actually, I'm about to finish, but I just want us to be cognizant of our actions, our movements, what we're listening to, what we're focusing on, the conversations we're having, the conversations we're not having, the people we're not around when we make a decision to not go forward, when we make a decision to not carry on because the burden is so heavy we feel we can't move, we can't do it anymore. You can do anything you can put your mind to, but the key is to put your mind to it. You can do anything that you set your mind to do. Don't let nobody talk you out of it. Don't let nobody tell you, yeah, you stay in that house and you don't have to see nobody. No, you don't have to see nobody, but it's good to see people. And not just any people, the right people. Don't see people that's going to put you in a worse headspace than you are now. See people that's uplifting and that's going to bring light to you, and that's going to make you feel good, and that's going to make you think about what you're missing if you stay in that bed, if you stay in front of that television, if you stay in the house and not come out. Now, if you can't come out, that's one thing, but if you can go live life, because we don't know the day, we don't know the hour, we just don't know when it's going to be our time. So live life to the fullest. Don't stay isolated, don't stay enclosed in, because when I fell last Wednesday, that was a direct attack on my worship to God. That was a direct attack. No, like I said, he didn't push me, but he used a situation that could have really, really hurt me in a way that I didn't recover. It could have damaged me where I lost my memory. It could have damaged me where I would have bust my head open. Anything could have happened in that moment. So I've always made a decision I made a decision years ago to live life to the fullest, and no matter if I'm hurting, no matter if I'm sick. Yeah, I have my moments where I don't want to be bothered, but I try not to I try not to stay there, because that can become addictive. You turn people on and off. You turn on and off. And nobody knows which you they're going to get. So you push people away because of your own attitude and antics. So let's not be so willing to just throw in the towel, so willing to just choose not to move forward as an option, because it is a choice. It's a choice we make. And we can make that choice not to go any further. I can't do it. I don't want to do this. But that's the easy way out. It's easy to sit on the couch. It's easy to lay in the bed all day and not get up and wallow in our sorrows. But take the hard road and get up. You don't know what blessing is waiting when you get up. And it might just be a regular day when you get up, but you won't know laying in that bed. So I hope this has been an encouragement to not only our women, but men as well, because they suffer in silence because the men are supposed to be so strong. And if they're caught being anything that looks soft, then they're called something that they're not. But we have to support our men as well. We have to keep going for them sometimes. That's going to be a topic for another time. I was about to touch it, but I'm not. But I'm just going to say we have to be strong for them sometimes. And I'm not saying anything negative about our brothers. I'm just saying if our brothers are weak, they need our strength, because everybody doesn't need to be weak. He doesn't need to be weak, and we don't need to be weak with him. So we need to be strong to keep them strong and keep them encouraged and give them the reason to keep moving forward. And we push ourselves to keep moving forward. So if you would like to send me an email, and I know they're going to be coming this week, it's okay, because I said what I said, and that's what I meant. But if you would like to send me an email, send it to awomansoulrestored@gmail.com. The website is www.livelifenow.net/podcast if you want to go straight to the podcast page. And the Facebook page is A Woman Soul Restored. So remember, choosing carrying on when you don't feel like carrying on. Put that foot forward when you don't feel like putting it forward. You might even feel like moving backwards. But guess what? Life is too short to do that. We have to propel ourselves to go forward. So for this week and for A Woman's Soul Restored, this is Latonia Y. Hendry. Have a blessed week. Remember, it's never too late for your soul to be restored. Be blessed.